then there's a nice steam that rises and nourishes all of the organs. And that metal or iron pot and the fire represents yin and yang in the kidney. The kidney is thought of as the root bank account for energy in the body. And that quest for wholeness is actually at the root of balance and wholeness, as it is at the root of Chinese medicine. And it's also at the root of Chinese traditional culture. So it's a very different view of the world, that my job is not only to be in balance within myself, but then also in balance with the rest of creation. That's the largest and greatest endeavor within Chinese medicine and also Chinese culture.
Wow. Very interesting. I would like you to also tell us a little bit more about Qigong, and you are a practitioner, right?
Are you there, Steve?
Can you hear me okay?
I'm sorry, are you there, Steve?
I'm still here.
Great.
I'm always here. Almost 80 hours a week.
Great. You're the master magician. You sound like God.
No, no, please don't put me on that pedestal. That is a very uncomfortable pedestal.
I'm sorry, I missed your response at the end of that. I got the volume readjusted.
Yeah, I'm fascinated, by Chinese medicine and also acupuncture.
Yes.
And I think those are very different modalities in comparison to what doctors do here. And I think, again, there could be a balance that we could create between all of these modalities to make a better life for ourselves.
I completely agree with that, and there's a model that I think about, and one wise person once said, models are what we entertain ourselves with until the truth reveals itself. But it's a model that I think has validity. If you think about a spectrum of medicine, think about a chunk of charcoal and a diamond. Both of them are nothing but pure carbon. And if you think of the charcoal end of the spectrum being drugs and surgery, that's the apex of what the conventional medical world has to offer. And the other end of the spectrum, the diamond end of the spectrum, being inhabited by more energetic forms of medicine like acupuncture, also visualization, aromatherapy, a whole range of homeopathy I would put in that diamond end of the spectrum. And then the mid-range would be herbs and foods, the things that we ingest using the elements, supplements, nutritional supplements. That's mid-range. And there's a room for everyone and everything in that spectrum. And I think of each of us having a home base on that spectrum. So for example, someone's home base might be 2/3 of the way towards the charcoal end of the spectrum, or someone else might be way over in the diamond end of the spectrum. And that might be their home base, but there are also times when we may need to dip into other ends of the spectrum. So for example, the person whose home base is the diamond end of the spectrum might develop cancer, and they might really need to do chemotherapy or surgery to completely recover. And they could be using the therapies at the diamond end of the spectrum to help moderate, to help minimize the side effects of the chemotherapy and radiation. So it's not an either-or proposition. There's a lot of us and them that goes on both on the diamond end of the spectrum and the charcoal end of the spectrum.
Fascinating stuff, Judith. So we're going to go into our final break, and when we come back, we would love to hear about Qigong. If you could take us into that conversation, that would be fantastic. So don't anybody